Today, the Mercury Marine destination takes us up to Northern Ontario. Cochrane Air Services is the end of the road for this trip, and then it's a fly-in to a small remote lake you have all to yourself. Small lakes can be a tremendous amount of fun, but with any location, 90% of the fish are in 10% of the lake, so helpful equipment is always a wise investment. Walleye are the target today, but pike are always in the neighborhood. And this stealthy approach will not only stop the bite-offs, but also not spook the fish. Small Lake Northern Walleye, this week on Fishful Thinking. Fishful Thinking is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Princecraft Boats dominate the waters. Minn Kota Traxxas Trolling Motors. And Ram Trucks, built to serve. Water conditions are brought to you by Humminbird Fish Finders. Get the big picture. Even small waters can blow up fast, but you can be more comfortable. Smooth out your ride with Smooth Move's shock-absorbing seat suspensions.
I'm using, I won't say it's a floater line, but it's a little lead of not too kinky wire because there's all kinds of pike in here. And there's going to be a lot of teeth on the lines, but it gets me so close. There you are, buddy. You're wrapped in that. It gets me so close. There you are, to the bottom. I'm gonna leave you there for a second. Get my glove on. Now, this is so important that these fish are all stacked up on an edge. I'm using my Humminbird Helix 5 portable as my eyes. I've got my Minn Kota Traxxas, and I'm beautiful little drift here today. I'm staying right on the edge. I'm quiet. Boat control is so essential. There's a nice little walleye. Pop you out. Pop you out. Beautiful, fun little fish. Not so little either, just a nice size. Put you back. Like I said, I'm not drop shotting. I am and I'm not. You know, drop shot is weight on the bottom, little round weight, a hook on your line, straight in your line. So I've got a nice little system here where I'm using fast hatches so I can change my weights quick, snap on, snap off. I've pre-tied some not too kinky 12-pound test wire with a little drop shot hook, and again a fast hatch because I'm going to wreck a lot of hooks today and I don't want to replace everything. I just want to put another hook on. And I'm ticking the bottom, and this is just floating up and down. I'm lifting and dropping, and this is just perfect where I want to be in the bottom. And these little set the hook stumpy crush worms, all I'm doing is hooking that right through the nose. And even though I've drifted really shallow here, this is all I'm doing. I cast this out. Oh, and like I said, these are pretty much snag resistant drop shot hooks by Freedom, drop shot weights by Freedom. Hitting the bottom, you can see your line go slack when it hits the bottom, and I'm just doing a little drift, a little lift, bottom contact, a little lift, bottom contact. If I'm not drifting at all in the wind, I cast it out and bring it back to me. If I've got a nice drift going, I could just sit inside of the boat doing the same thing. And what that does, it lets that little floater line not sit on the bottom, it lifts it off the bottom, maybe 10 inches to a foot, and it just drops right in the walleye's face because these walleye are sitting on the bottom. Well, I'm only in 6 feet of water here. I've dialed it in. 18 to 14 feet of water seems to be perfect. Got to get back out to it. Sometimes the hits are nothing more than just a mushy feel, and there you are. And another nice little walleye. You know, when you're in an area, fish love being in an area, there's lots of snags, and anything you can do to keep yourself out of those snags, like I said, these snag resistant Freedom drop shot weights, they've been working incredibly well. Ah, I got you before you went nuts again, buddy. Get you, leave you there while I get my glove on. These are Viking cut resistant, NBR palm coated cut resistant gloves. They're not puncture proof, but they will stop the cuts. And that's the thing I worry about mostly. And like I said, when I've got a fast attach on this to the hook and this stained water, I don't have to worry too much because they can't see that not too kinky. It's the same color. Cute little fish. And they're very fine wire drop shot hooks. So when you do occasionally snag, and it's going to happen, you're going to drop that drop shot weight straight into a crack, and it's going to hang up, and the hook's going to hang up on something. But when you do snag up in the bottom, that little drop shot hook is going to spread out and get out of that snag before you break anything off. And that's the great thing with these light wire drop shot hooks. But it's so much fun. You got to get to the bottom, and you're catching walleye all day long.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Mercury. Power and dependability you can count on.
Boat covers are designed to fit tight, and the one on my Princecraft here fits perfectly. But when you've added extras, like the Canon track system or I have my Hummingbird, you've added stress points, and the cover wasn't designed for that. A real fix that'll save your cover? A little bit of duct tape on some of these pressure points, whether it be part of your windshield, your track system, or where my Hummingbird folds down. It's almost like having 2 extra pieces of canvas on that cover. And let me tell you, it'll give you years more life of that cover for your boat.
Conditions today are brought to you by Revo Sunglasses, technology that performs.
These Set the Hook crush worms come in so many great colors. Yeah, I went to another variation of it that I've always had great luck with. There's another nice fish. You can even use live bait on this, and I've even tried the odd worm doing this. And believe it or not, the worms are getting the smaller fish. I go to these beautifully scented crush worms, and you can see this one. Nice little chartreuse tips in the tail. Now, keep in mind, you don't get that many in a pack. I've just loaded one pack with a bunch of them just on this trip. Because I know I'm going to go through a pile of them. Why not just stuff one package full of them instead of having a bunch of empty packages in the boat? But you can see, this is getting the bigger ones. Oh, there. Nice little fish. Chunky, chunky, beautiful little walleye. You're free, buddy. Zoom. And the great thing with this not too kinky as well, it's the same, like I said before, it's the same color as this tannic stain color water. So I bet you can't even see that above water. In the water, gone. It's pretty much one after another. Little hooks. Once I set the hook, I back off the drag completely. Nice little fella. Another good little walleye. And in you go. In you go, in you go. And in you come. A small little boat like this, I don't like leaning over the side too much, and that's perfect. Awesome, fun little fish. Not so little. And I'm never going braid straight to my weight. Braid is great. I think this is 20-pound test, Smackdown by Seagar. You can hardly see it, very thin. I love braid. It's sensitive, it's strong, but it's not abrasion resistant. When you're dragging the weights across rocks, I go 20-pound test Seagar fluorocarbon double uni knot to my braid. That way, when I'm dragging across this, it's taking all that abrasion. And I do check that occasionally. And if I start feeling frays, I'll just cut that off and retie it. But it's a great system. You just don't rely. I see so many people tying braid directly to their lures. The fish can see the braid in most clear water situations, and they think because it's so strong, it's the best thing for avoiding bite-offs and rocks, and it's not. Fish cut it with their teeth, and the rocks cut it up quick. Don't forget, you still need that fluorocarbon. Even when I'm using a wire leader, this fluorocarbon still comes in handy. All right, I'm drifted out way too deep. Time to adjust, catch another one. It is just so much fun. You got to get to the bottom, though. You got to get to the bottom. Now, these fish might come up a little bit closer during the evening hours, but when the sun is bright, these fish are glued to the bottom. Like I said, glove, avoid the cuts. And let me tell you, walleye can cut you up bad. Oh, 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 oh. Round and round and round we go. Pop you out. Right here on the walleye, I don't want to touch that with my finger. Right here, a lot of people think you're gonna worry about the spikes in the back, the spiny dorsal fin. Right here along the cheek, it's a razor blade, and people wonder how they get cut sometimes with the walleye. That's how. So much fun. When you're fish after fish, it's, you know, some of these little lakes are just so much fun to get into, but you can make it so much more fun. I can't emphasize enough boat control. It's a little extra work bringing a battery in. It's a little extra work bringing in a trolling motor like this Minn Kota Traxxas. But when I can stay, as I've been doing, exactly in that swath, my Hummingbird's keeping me on the fish. I'm seeing most of the fish right now are between 14 and 18 and getting a few little deeper, a few little shallower. But it's almost like see a fish, catch a fish. It doesn't matter where you are, 90% of the fish are in 10% of the lake, even in beautiful fly-in lakes like this. So when you know you're in that, that zone that has all the fish, it keeps you there. I could be checking other areas if I didn't have a fish finder, and I could be doing the exact right thing, and it just might be a fish here and a fish there. I want to be in that 90% of the fish zone. That's the fun part. These Freedom drop shot weights, these snag resistant ones, they are just helping me so much in some of these areas. And what do we got here, buddy? You feel a little better. I can't see with the glare on the water right now, but you're right there. Oh yeah, you got some shoulders, buddy. That's a nice fish. Ah, there's a nice one. See, in the evening, the fish just start getting a little bigger, a little more aggressive. And these set the hook crush worms just keep catching fish. There we go. There's a nice walleye. Real chunky. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And you know what? For trips like this, not only am I using my Daiwa LT light and tough spinning reels, but for trips like this where I'm trying to go light and smaller, I'm still bringing my beautiful Daiwa Tatula rods. And this is a beautiful two-piece. This is so nice for these walleye. Medium light action, and I've still got my Tatula quality. Wow, well, wind's picking up, and that looks like a storm coming in. Maybe a few more minutes and that might be it. The wind's picked up, it's starting to rain a little bit. The fish keep biting. Oh, there's a nice solid fish. Get my glove on. So much fun. You come up to a place like this, be prepared. Lightweight rain suit like this Viking Wendigo. Some two-piece rods like the Tatula. Handful of good plastics. And you just keep having fun, fun, fun. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful walleye, consistently, over and over. Ah, there you go, sweetheart. Now, this Hummingbird also has a GPS in it, so I've been marking my spots as I go where the batches of fish are even thicker, so I can just keep going back and back. And again, when the wind's blowing like this, be prepared. I've even brought a drift sock, so that's lightweight and it'll slow you down. But I got a ways to go to get back to that spot now.
Fishful Thinking is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Princecraft boats dominate the waters. Viking 100% waterproof rain gear. And Ram trucks built to serve. Tackle today, Daiwa Ballistic LT Light and Tough Spinning Reels. 20-pound test Seagar Smackdown Performance Braided Lines. Daiwa Tatula 2-piece rods with X45 bias graphite construction. Freedom snag-resistant drop shot weights. 20-pound test Seagar 100% fluorocarbon leader material. Stumpy Crush and Junior Crush worms by Set the Hook. 12-pound test Not Too Kinky nickel titanium leader wire. With tilt and extendable handle, the Minn Kota Traxxas trolling motors. Humminbird Helix 5 portable fish finder with GPS. And the Mercury 6 horsepower 4-stroke outboard motor. Cochrane Air Services in Northern Ontario, specializing in walleye and pike with cabins on remote, lightly fished lakes.
And when this drops, you've got both ends of the worm wobbling as it drops down. And like I said, these Set the Hook spike worms, they have such great balance to them, and the fish just see that dropping down. Thank you, sir.
Boy, that's fat.
Isn't that a beauty?
Wow.